Deze is niet wat meint.
Oh, thank you very much.
Deze is niet wat meint. Dat is wat meint. Dat is zo.
We're not doing business in Israel. It's not doing anything against Israel. It's terrible. Terrible. You can do business in Let him do business in Israel. You don't do business in Israel. You do business. You do. You go ahead do business in Israel. Let's see how well it's going to work out.
Here we go. Relax.
You see what it says, Anshay Doma Memela Yatsima?
We missed your shot here.
Hey, it's not easy.
Oh, this is not easy.
Stage Ramazan,
I'm telling you, don't do it. You know why?
Don't you have an Israel alarm clock in your office?
You're going to be silent.
By the way, I have
Work. You know what I'm saying? Work. Work. That's what I'm saying. Work, yes. Business, no. I agree with you. Killing it. He's making 200,000 shekel a year. He's killing it.
Sister.
Hey, but we're talking about business, not work. I'm not talking about working.
We're talking about billion.
I'm talking about, yeah. We're talking about work. Okay, I'm an HCL plumber and I'm working, I'm helping somebody, trying to make chemistry. No, we're not talking about it. We're talking about
Yeah, but we were saying earlier is that people that argue on a tzaddik, one of the ways that the karma comes back to hit them with the idea that they fall into Tavis Mama.
with the people who run the government.
He's going to go into what is the psychological damage of Tavis Mama, what it does to us. Anshe Dama Memeri Malayach Tziyameyah.
He takes care.
People with Dama Memeri, people that are always dealing with trickery, Layach Tziyameyah, will not half their days, meaning they won't even live half their life. I know. Mishu Baal Machlokas. Somebody who's a Baal Machlokas. Somebody who starts, really just trying to stir the pot. You know those people, every situation they walk into, they're going to walk in. Doesn't matter where they are. Every situation they walk into, they make a deny. This doesn't work for me. Why is the AC on? Why is the window closed? Why is, literally every situation. And then we do it in our own homes sometimes. We come in, what's going on? Why is this on the floor? We become the Undrai in ourselves all the time as well. We become Baal Machlokas. Baal Machlokas is just the guy that's looking to drayun. Every show we walk in, like, and we tell ourselves, it's all the story we're telling ourselves to begin with. But, there's the Baal Machlokas, the outside one, and there's the Machlokas, and that's like, we walk into the office, and we walk in here, and this is bothering me, and this is bothering me, and they make a dry here, and a dry there. It's the same as the Baal Machlokas. We're talking about the one that's going after the tzaddik. This person is known for the Tavis Mammon. He's going to fall into the idea of Tavis Mammon, V'yamav, Kadlam, Beredifa, and his days will end quickly.
Wow. Problem is they don't use the money.
Achar Moises. And he's going to keep the Yom Beredifa, Achar Moises. He's going to continue chasing after luxuries. Like we always say, buy the highest quality of everything, but not the luxury. Luxury is when you're doing it for yourself. The second your ego's involved in it, then you're buying luxury. And once you're in luxury, there's no end. And that's what he says. V'yamav kalim beredifa acher moises. Once you get into the brand name thing, you're forever chasing it. V'zeh lo yachzi yameim. You can't even half your days. You'll never live half your days. She'ein other base. V'chatzi tavasa biyado. The Medrash in Kabbalah says there's nobody that dies that even ever accomplishes half of his desires.
Oh, you didn't come down yet.
Meaning, if we're going to keep chasing, and it's the bigger boat, and the bigger plane, and it's the bigger thing, and the next thing, and you'll notice, and too deep, you'll notice, I love guys, one of the big guys, I don't say names anymore, but
without names.
Without names.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. No.
That's a snort
Unfiltered. Unfiltered.
You can add the beep.
You can't. Once you get away with it.
You can't start the Friday.
Once you get away with it, now then we're going to be unfiltered all of a sudden.
With the name.
I'll tell you who said the line.
Don't be blonde. You guys don't know, man. Then I learned. I had a party at a beach house and then in Malibu. The guy brought with the midnight course, with the chef and the whole thing, party, and while we're there, music and from the
The Heshmei Rabbi was amazing.
Party. And we're sitting there, and the guy says, and he's talking about, in 2 weeks we're going to Africa. And Duffy says, you're at the party now.
It's the mentality of
You're at the party now. What are you talking about Africa?
keeping it so tight.
You understand? You're at the craziest party on the beach in Malibu. You're talking to me 2 weeks we're going to Africa. You're not even here. It's such a powerful lesson. That's really this, and he's going to go even deeper into it. And I'm going to go once we're in LA. I'm going to repeat the reference got up in front of the whole mirror. Every year he goes there to Yisrael for Sukkot, and because he really gives the mirror a tremendous amount of money and covers a lot of the budget there, millions a year. He gets to speak by the Sukkot B'Sheva in the mirror every year. He always speaks in front of all the Kohen Galat, the whole yeshiva, the Rabbunim, the yeshivas. He gets to give his
He really made it.
90-minute State of the Union address. That's the guy up there.
Whatever he wants to say, you can say.
Whatever he wants to say, and he does.
You know one
And he
time.
deserves it. Kol hakavod.
One time he had a Torah and they didn't pick out the girls. He had a whole drush about it.
Yeah.
The Shuvas didn't like that.
Listen to that. He has the right to. He has the right to. Anyway, but he gets up there and he tells all these Kohen Galat that don't have two shekel to get on the bus. I want to tell all of you guys you're much richer than me. And he goes on to say, because anybody that has $1 wants to. So he goes, you guys, what do you have, 30 shekel? So you're missing 30 shekel. If you have 30, oh, you're missing. If you have a month, if you have $1, you want 2. Right? So if you have 30 shekels, so what are you missing?
It's short and thin.
60, you're short, it's 60 shekels. Because I have $100 million. You know how short I am? You know what my deficit is? You know how much more I want and how much I'm lacking more than you?
My Yitzhar is bigger than yours.
It's not the Yitzhahara, it's the desire for kesef. The desire for money. You only have this much, so your desire is only so much. So therefore you're richer than me. And it's emes la'amita. It's emes la'amita.
Who doesn't have desire for money?
And that's what the people that sit and learn the entire day. And the people that give them.
They have desire for only 30 shekels.
I agree with that. I agree with
They
that.
have desire.
They have desire, but for their amount.
Yeah, just to cover Shabbos.
Yeah.
I agree.
Do you have guys like this desire, desire money?
Libel.
No, they have the
Sukkot
desire, a healthy amount. They have the right
Their
amount of
Sukkot
desire.
is smaller.
Helping. Nobody's paying everything for them. Helping out, supporting, not just full on everything.
Not everything.
One day that one day
Very good. He's talking very
Somebody give them
practically.
everything.
Not getting enough money.
Exactly.
Those people that are getting the kollel check, even if the kollel is sponsored by
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah, Rabbi Joey Newcomb said you need to make $500,000 a year to be comfortable.
That idea, oh, you can sit and learn that somebody else is going to support you. I agree with that with the Americans that get married and because they have to, and they go to Israel because they have to, and they're
I wish I had to go to Israel.
I'm with you, but I'm talking about the guys that are sitting. You know who they honored last night? I didn't see it. I wasn't there. I got a billion videos from my brother. I thought it looked incredible. That the Torah event.
Did you say 6 months?
4 days. I don't know exactly. But look, I watched a bunch of videos. Fire.
Designers are the ones that like they know they're getting from there and from there and from there.
The whole thing over there.
I can maybe get from my key and stuff tomorrow.
The Safra came and donated a couple of months ago, something like $25 million. Fascinating story. Young guy, 30-year-old Safra from Brazil. came in. You know the Safra banks, HSBC Bank.
No way. HSBC?
Everybody's
It's the biggest
Jewish.
bank.
Everybody's
It's the biggest
Jewish.
bank in the world.
There are companies.
HSBC is Hong Kong. Is Hong Kong's bank. It's Hong Kong's bank. It's the biggest bank in the world.
Craziest story. The Safra family has been a fascinating family, South American family. You remember? You remember why?
I was riding out the way.
That was why. The guy was so paranoid. He had the craziest asshole. Most paranoid guy in the world. His Hosbacher, his guy who was taking care of him, knew how paranoid he was and wanted a raise. So he decided he's going to become a hero. So he lit a little garbage can on fire outside the guy's bedroom. And
He was gonna rescue.
him. The problem was this guy was so paranoid that the second the fire alarm went on, it automatically locked down everything. And he ended up choking and dying in the bathroom. Old man Safra.
Who the guy who gave Kikar
The guy who just made a tiny little fire to save him and be the hero ended up killing.
How did the story
old
go
man
out?
Safra.
How did the story go out?
What do you mean? He was arrested.
Oh, it was an
Something
investigation.
with the guy. Oh my God. Yeah, this is where old man Safra ended up dying in his bathroom. He was killed by his husband.
Barricaded
He was
himself.
trying to save him because a lot of shuls were built as a result of it. Anyway,
So you do have his chis.
huge.
No,
Yeah,
there's
that's
also
That's what I'm pulling out.
Yeah, he's sitting in jail, and now, so one of the grandsons came, worth billions, shows up in Lakewood, and they take him from one business to another, and he sees 1,500 guys hocking
Knocking.
around. The sound, the experience of walking into it, and then to another business, and another, and there's 6,000-7,000 chevra doing this. He was beyond blown away.
Wow.
For the boys.
They brought him to Lakewood Cheder. He got $2 million. Here, check on the $2 million to the Lakewood Cheder when he saw what was going on there. Then they took him to the huge industrial.
Who brought him? Which guy brought him?
Some broker. Yeah, some good broker.
Who's the husband?
Anyway, yeah, we've been taken around by Yosef, what's his name? Whatever, the administrator there. Heinemann. Anyway, they bring him to these gorgeous. Did you see the new office buildings they built in Lakewood?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the West
They're
Tower.
crazy.
West something.
They're crazy.
You saw those buildings?
What about BMG?
No, by Mike's Chicken.
By Mike's Chicken over there. Crazy.
State plug. I'm mind blown by them.
Mind blown.
Ridiculous. I love them. They're amazing.
Charging $40 a square.
Amazing.
I wanted to show them that not just for that, they showed them.
All the biggest, every big company's moved.
He says, offices? You brought me to see? I came to see Torah. This doesn't impress me. I have bigger office buildings. This is not impressive to me. I came here to see Torah. Take me back to the yeshivas. Take me back to the Torah. He didn't want to see it. Don't take me into it. They had a big conference room set up in the biggest building with the biggest, business people. For me,
By JCM Brown.
I don't want to see anybody. I have bigger business people than anybody here.
Don't waste my time.
Take me back to see Torah. Fascinating. And dropped $35 million. And now every single building in Lakewood's getting the Safra name. You'll see, they started already. Every single one of Lakewood's buildings, I was there for Shabbos. It has the Safra name on it now.
That's my,
Yeah. So they said, just now, this year. So the rumor had it that he wanted,
Some of the Rashivas prayed
so they had,
pretty
rumor
well.
had it that he wanted to be honored last night at the event.
He wanted to be honored?
Yeah, that's the yeah, it's crazy.
So they honored him?
No, about the money, how much the grandson, how much
$100
they're
million
giving.
a
Somebody
year.
crazy.
But
No way.
I stay in the background. Nobody's being honored.
Hello.
Nobody's being honored. This is about the Loim de Torah. This event's about the Loim de Torah. We're here to elevate the Koil Yingaman. No Balabad. China's making an appearance at this whole thing, this whole event. He doesn't even make an appearance. He won't catch him on camera, know it. He's in a suite somewhere.
How are you?
Anyway, he says, but you know who we are gonna honor? They usually, and they did it last night also, I saw it, they do it literally like the football games, like by the, whatchamacallit, by Super Bowl. By the Super Bowl, when the teams come in and the fireworks go off and everybody goes crazy and they go, so the four Rosh Hashivas walk in.
No way.
Place goes wild.
Amazing.
And it's amazing. You feel Kavod Torah. It's beautiful. And they get Shmuel Kanavanetsky, who's been in the hospital now for weeks, showed up there in a wheelchair. The Yom Mal Yemei Melech Tosef that rocked. You know, there's the kind of yeshivas, and this is the whole yeshivish world sitting there. It was tremendous, tremendous. But who they did honor was the people that are sitting in Kollel without any sort of shtella for 50 years.
Wow, without like a Rosh
The
Chabira.
70s and 80-year-olds that are still sitting in Kollel without a single shtella, just with their Gemara going down.
Louis brought all his nursing home guys.
And that's who they sat them in one section and they honored them.
Wow, that's so cool.
Powerful. Very, very powerful.
Yes.
So again, back to your question. Those 6,000 people, and they got a raise now. They, China. This whole idea, the whole idea was that Lakewood used to pay $300 a month. That was your Koil check that you got. And about 4 or 5 years ago, a group of guys, and Charlie Chop was one of them, and only because Laser always mentions him when he tells the story.
He built the plot.
Charlie said, doesn't make sense that the guys are getting $300. We have to do something about it. And they were on a plane to Africa, funny enough, and they said, what are we going to do, one more safari, another safari? They guys on the plane with Shia Prager and Laser and then Charlie, these guys got together and said, we're raising it to $1,000 a month.
Wow.
And they went to Lakewood, and Lakewood said, you're out of your mind. You're not touching any of our bank accounts. You do you. We're going to continue giving the 300. We're not promising, it's not coming through us. Meaning, we have our responsibilities, you're coming up with crazy numbers.
You can give a
we
bonus.
have no way of doing this, to support this long term. You guys got drunk on a plane, very nice. Don't come to me about this. And Lakewood wanted nothing to do with it. They said, your own program, make the Balabatim crazy. We're happy if you give them, but you're going to do it for 3 months and then you're going to stop. It's not Kedai. And Laser at that point decided, we're going to create the largest fundraising machine in the world. There is no larger fundraising machine in the world that raises this kind of money. You're talking about over $100 million a year now. Yearly. It's not a one time, and nobody's getting a name on a building. Nobody's getting, and $100 million a year, you're asking people for $1 million, $2 million a year. A year people are giving to support this thing, and there isn't one plaque. And you're not getting a thing for it. This guy gets $35 million, he has a name it on every building in Lakewood. There are people giving, my brother's one of the biggest fundraisers that raises for this. That's how I know about this. He goes, there are people that are giving $250,000 a month, and they have nothing. They got nothing for it other than they know that they have 25, 30 younger light that they support every month. Wow. And the way they sell it is, they sell younger light. How many younger light do you want? 6,000.
It's like a Bitcoin.
It's like a Bitcoin. $6,000 a piece. And yes, well said. It's like
$1,000 a month.
You can't generate more. Can't really
$12,000
generate more, only in
for a
batches.
bottle of per younger month.
For a year.
Per year. How many do you want?
Nothing.
How many do you want? That's how they sell it.
Some closing.
Again,
it's more than 300.
It's like
No,
I
but
was
that's
telling-
what he's saying. They're raising
I
100,000.
once went to one of these events, where you pay, you cover, and one of these barbecues, and the guy sitting there is asking everybody, okay, how many points do you need on your credit card? Right? Don't look at it, you're spending money. How many points do you need on your card? I'll give you 1,000 points on your card.
It's like a puppet machine.
I'll give you 1,000 points on your card. Meaning, I'm not taking from you, I'm giving you. It's
Trading
like the
for
grab
you.
machine,
you started this conversation actually because of the Torah that happened last night.
Say my name before you start learning every day.
Yes, yes.
L'chotzav,
Zisha, but I want to play devil's advocate for a
Go ahead,
moment.
go.
Why is that need? What's the shot of that? Like, why do you need guys to not participate in society and just learn all day? Why do you need so many?
We have great question. It's so funny you mentioned it because literally I was Baruch Hashem Zaycha to be with my father Shabbos. My wife was away.
Society much more than we do.
What? That's what I'm saying. And then I went on a couple of, me and my father haven't been seen eye to eye most of our lives. And I can honestly say this Shabbos, after 48 years and about 8 hours of talking over Shabbos, we finally had some sort of fundamental relationship. Wow. No, and it was a really powerful moment. Really powerful moment where you know, we can stop trying to. Our children don't have to be like this. My child can be his own way, and I can face him, and I can be me, and he can be him, and we're both okay. That's correct. But we start off that way. But one of the big things that he pointed out to me and called me back and he wanted to discuss was, be careful if you're going to talk any negativity about labor. Just be very sensitive about it because you're dealing with 6,000 people that are fueling the world. He goes, they may never say l'shem yichud on a mitzvah. They may never daven mincha the way they'll daven a mincha. They'll never daven. Forget about it. They'll never connect to a mitzvah. They're never going to go to work. They're not going to this. But they're just going to sit and harava on a rajba and understanding that mind of somebody taking their complete mind and engrossing it in Hashem's mind, which we know, we understand that when they do that,
It was a bug.
when there's a group of people or even an individual that gives his life for Torah and to learn Torah, that energy that's emanating out of 1,000 in the life, learning Torah, is the energy that's pumping out of there, is nuclear energy that's keeping the world alive. Again, they may never say l'shem yichud on a mitzvah, meaning they're gonna.
So why should I believe they do it better than us?
You're saying the wrong thing.
It's not better.
It's no better.
Why should I respect it? It comes down to the same question.
No. It's worth just one. You're right. It's worth just one.
With all the things. You have the same Gisubiyom than him.
You're right.
You do your best. You do the same as him. Why?
Not different.
Why should I respect it? It comes down to the same question.
It's harder to do it.
If you look at it
Again, it's a stop. I just want to get it.
really, now that they bumped it up to $1,000 a month.
Also nothing. It's also only 250.
Even if it's $1,000 a month, right? Any job you can drive Uber and make more than that, right?
So I have a question.
What's your question?
So my point is, nobody is, other than those first 5 years, 3-4 years of the shvers, letting you vacation. When that's over, when the vacation part of the call is over, and the kids that decide, I want to learn for life. I want to learn for life. Meaning, I'm giving up everything. I'm giving up my everything. Meaning, I'm not going to live with my Avalon and Florida and vacations. I'm not. I'm going to move into the minivan. I'm going to stay in a basement apartment because I want to learn. So this is not about, why do I have to go work? Because you want a different lifestyle than he's choosing. He's choosing to give up a lot of lifestyle.
What is this lifestyle giving you?
It's a lifestyle choice.
It's a lifestyle choice.
Hashem have the same anua when
100%.
So why should I respect it? Meaning to say,
Why shouldn't you respect it the same way he respects you? You respect him.
I understand. He does. I respect him as a person. Why should I respect the thing he's doing if I'm not look up to it? I don't.
Let's understand what. No. There's a basic fundamental question. What does another Yid learning Torah do for me? Why should I respect him? Why his learning Torah Why do people give to our...
By the way, I respect them. I don't know if I respect them because I'm brainwashed. I respect them because I want to
Let's talk about it. Let's
respect them.
understand what the
Good things to explore.
The whole idea of Torah event is to uplift the younger man and to say this is, put him on a pedestal and say we need the younger man sitting and learning. So let's understand why that is. Right, so we all say there's the CIA, right? The Central Intelligence Agency. Central Intelligence Agency, the idea that there's, with AI now we're getting a feeling of what we're talking about, right? There's knowledge about everything. And then there's our consciousness that focuses on what we need to focus on the moment, right? So when we need to recall something, we go back into the hard drive and we pull it back down. Even though right now I'm focusing on this, but if you needed to remember what your wife asked you to buy in the grocery yesterday, you'd somehow rewind and go back. All of that memory that you have that you're rewinding to go back to is part of a bigger memory. That's part of who we is as a collective, right? That entire CIA memory is based on Torah. The connections of that whole thing, the whole neural pathways of that whole thing is Torah. Histakel b'Oraisa bara alma, Hashem looked into the Torah and created the world, meaning the Torah is the source code for all consciousness. Torah is source code for all consciousness. Everything in consciousness comes out of Torah. Bala Alma means how do we experience the world is through Torah. So we understand that the central consciousness is Torah. And we know when we get into a sugya, into a thing, and you get into it, even being Mavis Shedra, and sometimes you get into flow and your mind just stops everything else. And you're just saying the words and you just feel that energy going through you, whatever it is in Torah. You could be reading a book. And all of a sudden you just feel that thing. That's because you're connected to the CIA without any disturbances, so to say. And that's what Rabbi Pinson would call Atzilus. Atzilus is when you can hold the thought. By the way, did you see the podcast? That podcast, I meant to call you yesterday, I finished it. Painful, but brutal, but he drew out diamonds. There's this guy that interviewed Rabbi Pinson, and
Why is it painful?
because the guy didn't let the Pinson talk. Every time he started saying something, he had to say something else. However, but if you let that go, he drew out so much great diamonds, he didn't let him stop. What about Bechira? What about Gilgulim? What about this? Like from jumping from topic to but got diamonds and diamonds and diamonds. What's that? Joe Farkas.
Okay.
It's on the Pinson chat. Anyway, Young D. Farkas. But he did a great job. So the idea that there are 6,000 people, or even one guy, that's sitting and dedicating his life, and he's saying, I understand that the Torah is the thing that all of consciousness is coming out of. And I am going to connect my head, and I'm going to go into a Kivega, and I'm going to go into a Marsha, and I'm going to go into a Logachava, and I'm going to break my head to try to figure out the sugya, and I'm going to make it my way of life, and I'm giving up everything. I'm giving up by
It's like the capital of the CIA, like being busy with it.
Correct.
So somebody needs to be busy, like revealing
It's
it.
a very low
Say.
level. It's on a low level from one side.
Again, I'm not saying higher or lower. He's taking his
That
mind
job.
and immersing it there. When that happens, it bubbles. And I'll give you an example. The world record to hit a mile run was never beaten by 4 minutes. 4 minutes never was broken until one guy. They always said if you're going to run a mile in 4 minutes, your heart's going to explode, your lungs will collapse, the body can't handle 4 minutes. Under 4 minutes. I'm not worried about one day in 55, a guy broke the record. Get it in 3:58 or something.
The idea is that you want to make
2 weeks later, 12 guys broke the record.
once they're there, you want to go try something.
And since then, dozens and dozens have broken the record. But until then, doctors said it's impossible to do.
They hate it now, and that's with friends.
It's fascinating. I saw somebody else exactly what you do. When you believe, when you know you can do it, meaning. So when you're tapping in to the energy, you're creating, when Rabbi Kiva says a chiddush. You see it so many times. It happens in every part of types of industry and anything. One tzaddik will say a chiddush, the next day 10 more tzaddikim will draw down the same chiddush. Benjamin Franklin can create electricity, and then 5 more scientists will come up with things exactly. Comes AI, comes people. Once something's drawn down, once the channel is open, this guy doesn't have to know from this guy. He doesn't even have to know from this guy, but it's drawn down and it's here and it's available. So when these guys,
yeah, whatever. Whatever the story goes that
You just look at the words,
she had a kid
all of a
and
sudden
came
things
back.
pop out.
It's not mine.
It's like even the most simple
One of
Jew.
this lady.
Not talking about tzaddik, tzaddikim for sure. Even the most simple. But one condition: don't put it to the test.
That's what gave
If
it.
you're gonna try to test it, it's not gonna work.
So
don't think of the pink elephant.
you get a bank account
I don't
there.
need a bank account there. I don't need a bank account there.
You know to.
So when there are 6,000 people generating new ideas in Torah and drawing down, and that gives us the ability to tap into so much more lichtigkeit. When we can get up to daven v'sikin in the morning, because they're learning in Lakewood. Because they're drawing, they're making connections, they're making kedusha, they're drawing down new energy every minute on a nuclear level.
So how much is it?
That's right.
I like it. I like it. Ganz good. Ganz good.
Yeah, 100%. No, you change my
I
perspective.
understand.
When we're saying Birchas
Now you can understand the mitzvah because that person finds the ganze mitzvah and ausgehargert.
And we're saying that we have to.
Now I understand it much better. Very good.
On their
No, not so
Torah.
harsh on it.
We're thanking Hashem for every chiddush that any guy, Yochel and Lakewood's going to make today. Because we have access to it. Once the records are broken, the records are broken. And they're doing it all day, every day. And they're breaking their head on it. Yeah, they could go sell fish out of the back of a truck and make more money doing it. There's nobody sitting in Kotel because, it's just easier this way.
I think if you
Past the first couple of years.
it'd be torture for someone who doesn't want to be there. Just
Exactly.
Yeah.
These people are there by choice.
Yeah, I like
They're there by choice.
couple of
And
Go to
they're
Bali.
breaking their heads on the
the government gives you
subject.
enough money.
And that's all they're doing. They're not connecting to the mitzvahs on a different level. They do they shuttle, they daven mincha, they do a heichish menasu because it's
Faster.
because it's about the Torah. And that's all they're busy with is the Torah. And that's all they know. And we have to look at that and say, wow, you do you, and keep that nuclear power plant going. Keep that. We have to make sure and respect it and know that that's their avodah. That's their avodah, and that's okay. In a real way.
You can only have the nuclear powers if somebody's creating it.
Correct.
Basically.
We need it. We need them. And we need next week is coming all the chaver from Bnei Brak and the whole Israeli. They're here. Gayaba came yesterday already, but the whole contingency for all the Eretz Yisrael kohelim, and we need them just the same.
What do you mean? They're making
They're making huge fundraising. We need a lot.
not a
Klal Yisrael needs
not a party.
billions. Klal
It's
Yisrael has
fundraising.
billions, and that's what they're coming to collect.
Oh, like a ganschman kan geld. Ja.
It's like the money
They're in the army, whatever.
Das klingt ja, als ob ich mir umlaufen
It's respectful, like when
Again,
Zelensky
das
comes
ist nicht
Zusammengedacht. Oh wow, what is get it though?
they're coming to
Ach, jetzt macht er mal even Geld was er.
Jetzt kannst du es kosten.
Alright, so back to the time.
Back to the money people.
Back
They're
to the
coming to
money
something.
people. So this is all not them.
This is all not
This is all not them. וזה לא יחצו, שאין מעשה חצי תבוסה, he never gets to have it. כמבור על הפוסה, ויגש מפניך אוי ויאמר השמד, אין שם. And that was that. We said that earlier, that when you're going to run after your money, you're going to end up with a hashmed. וזה שסיר. The end of the pasuk is, where do we sing today? ואני אפתח בך, ואני אפתח בך. שהוא ההיפך מטייבס ממן. Well, I tell you today, that's so good.
Yeah.
Best energy song that came out.
Oh, wow.
Since Madonna.
Right? It's a special song. Vani Eftach Bach. I said today. No, right.
Wow.
Is that you see Vani Eftach Bach?
Mitzvah Hashem, the rest of the day should go like this.
Right. Yeah, Meshukah B'Tavis Money ain't Mammon. I keep saying that. B'Tavis Money. Tavis Mammon ain't B'Tayach B'Shem. If you sleep better at night because you have $1 million in your bank account versus not having.
Amashiku means what's the definition?
You're not B'Tayach B'Shem. If you're sunk in, if you're in too deep. If you're Meshuka, I used to have a boat, the name of the boat was In Too Deep. And literally, the day it pulled up to the dock, I bought a Long Island, I pulled it to the dock, one of the engines died and needed $25,000. In Too Deep. And we're ready in, and not put it in too deep. Story in my life. Kihu. So if you trust, if you sleep better because you have $1 million in the bank versus not having, being B'Teich in Hashem, that in itself, Kihu Oived Kal Akam. You're being oived all the sugi avodah zarah. Every time avodah zarah. Va'ani eftach bach. Shetuchel lahazman you. How do you do it? What's the answer? What's the trick? Va'ani eftach bach. I trust in you. Shetuchel lahazman li. Parnasa si besiba kala. Money flows to me effortlessly. Money flows effortlessly. And I will be happy with exactly what I have. And I will not be sunk in too deep with the Tavis money. Okay. And therefore,
did you get another boat?
No, it's still sitting, it's around that. Okay, these people that are stuck deep in money, Kol Mashi Yeshle Yashir is Yoser, the richer he gets, Yeshle the August, Va'atzvus and Morish Choy to be Yoser. More money, more problems. Like we always say, my brother Charlie doesn't have these problems. My brother Charlie with 11 kids, right? With nothing. His garage door never broke, his convertible, his boat engine never died. Yeah, his jacuzzi never went, his pool never had algae. Nothing. No, he doesn't have nothing, so he has no problems. Nothing can break. Yes, but the more money you have a property in Louisiana, and now the tenant is giving you a rough time, and the cool in the vacation house is broken, and the guy said he's coming yesterday, and
they didn't have enough tiles, so you have to use a different tile.
I hate when that happens. Not a tile. Yes. Yes, the dog is va'atzvos, and it goes into atzvos, into a bitterness, into a depression. Umarishkoyla b'yoyser. Ki amamen va'ashida shaloi hu b'chinas b'yitzavin teichalna. The original curse of the Nachash, of Adam Arishan, was that you will eat this with bitterness. Shehu b'chinas atzvos umarishkoyla. You're gonna, all of your desire for sustenance, for this more and more, is gonna be full of depression. Ampen chashoichen, a dark face, misa, which is the Bechidas HaMisa canal. Valkein, Kol Mashi, Yeshle Mamin, Basiris Yoiser. The more money you have, the more busy you are with your money, Yeshle Atzvus and Marishkoida, Dog is Yoiser, has more and more depression and worries and anxieties. Because his money is the source of his depression and marish chayda. Mar benachasa, mar badaiga. More nachasa, more daiga. Ki bevadai hu mar badaga. V'atzvus alidei riba nachasa v'ashiris. It's clear that you have more things to worry about when you have more things. Ki anachasam shalai hey ba'atzvur b'chinas atzvus. The things themselves start causing you grief. Every time I drove, literally yesterday, it's funny. Literally yesterday I drove by where the boat was. And I never took care of it, it's been sitting for 6 years. It's around wrapped, I never got a new one. And engine that it needed, and then the heck with it. And
Still making fees to his dog.
of course.
Just sing it at this point. I won't be a worry anymore.
Exactly, and then I watched Stupid Boat. Kalma. It's exactly that. You end up Stupid Boat, stupid this,
Sitting,
stupid that.
not working.
Yeah, and even when it does, this guy's only my friend because of my stupid boat.
Guy pulls a
Yeah,
knife through the
even when it
bigger boat.
works, it also becomes icky. And then I have to worry about get gas, $700 to fill up. It's a little bit, but that's what it is about. But yeah, it's all these things. The more things we have, the more worries we have. But we run after them. But this whole idea of being something. But let's finish this thing. Money and wealth shortens and ends the life of people. There's nothing that kills a person more than anxiety. Like anybody knows. You see somebody stressed, you know tomorrow he's got cancer. Unfortunately, stress kills. Stress kills. A broken heart is a real thing. It's not a fake thing. A broken heart, you go into marshmallow, you go into upset, you go into depression, you go into anxiety, it physically will kill you.
What time is it? I'm joking.
Wow. He ends his life. Because at that point he's connected to the face of the dark side. Which are the gods, the foreign gods. Darkness. Come to the dark side, all your friends are there. The opposite of face to face, where the face is lit up. At that point, the money will kill him. All of that falls into Taivas Mammon. But remember, it's all about the Taivas Mammon. Meaning you can have a lot of money, billions flowing through you. But as long as you are the tzina, and you're not putting a cap on the bottom and trying to fill your cup. There's nothing wrong. Yes, you can be a conduit for billions, and we ask Hashem, make me the conduit for billions, for shefa and parnasa and abundance, adbeli die. But taivas mammon is when you start making it about you. I want it for me. That whole desire, that's where the anxiety comes from. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose. Oh my God, he didn't sign the contracts yet. Oh my God.
But it was never used to begin with.
It's when it becomes about me. When we daven, we say, Hashem, send billions through me. I have so many big plans. Through, on the side, while it's going through, a little bit gets stuck, some oil on the side.
We're human beings.
A little bit gets stuck on the side. But we're not saying that money inherently is bad. When you connect money to you and to your ego, it's like any woman walking down the street. You can see a beautiful woman and you say, wow, it's a beautiful woman. It has nothing to do with me. The second you say, oh, how do did she notice me? Did I notice it? Yeah, once you make it about you in any way, that's when it becomes disgusting. When you make it about your ego. When you see it pass by, beautiful, there's a tree, there's a woman, there's whatever it is, that's fine. But when you make it about you, and you I have to break my whole taiva now. Why do you have a taiva? It was never about you. It was never about you. You're only breaking your taiva to go crazy when you make it about you every time.
Gotta make that a clip.
That's what members relieve, so everything is for me. So with that, we get
very good.
We get that, maybe it is for me, maybe it's not, maybe it is for me, maybe it's not.
What is me? Who's me? Who's me?
But if it's for me, then yes, then I could take partake.
You could take anything. What do you want it? You need it? What are you talking about?
When we stand Shemana Esrei, the me is Hashem shine your light through me. When we say Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba, what's Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba? What do we even think about? What's the basic understanding? What's the simplest understanding? Amen, Hashem, your name, Your big name, Rabba Mavalach, the Machlokes, you can put Rabba on the name or Rabba Mavalach, either which way, your great name or your great blessed, forever and ever and ever. I'm a guy here that's 48 years old, that's going to be dead in another 48 years old, and I'm going to say, me here is talking about God forever. What do I, sitting on earth, look very similar to the chimpanzee? What do I have, who am I to say?
You go to Mars.
What am I even saying?
You could go to
What
Mars.
do the words even mean? What am I trying to express? It's a big thing. But what is it? What are we saying? What's the basic mindset that we're trying to have?
I have a question.
The basic mindset is Hashem. I want
Put it in the
use
words.
me.
Put this the pshat into the words.
Yehei Shmei Rabba, your bright name.
Yeah.
Should shine la'olam la'ol. How does that happen? What's my posture? How do I stand? What's my feeling? How am I approaching this? Where am I in this situation? Who am I?
Where am I?
He's saying that forever and ever, there should be.
Who are you?
I can't control tomorrow. I can't control. I don't know what I want for lunch.
You know that when you're saying it, then 100 bad things are passing over.
But
then maybe you have a little bit of time. Maybe I can have in mind the soldier in Gaza. Maybe I can have in mind the guy in Australia. Maybe I can have in mind the guy in Brooklyn.
You can. Very good.
Maybe I have a little piece. I have a little nothing, something. Maybe it's a good idea that with my whole co-op, I maybe have a little touch that I can.
You should love as much as you can, man.
Maybe I have a little bit of co-op.
Love as much as you can.
Because
Every day.
maybe I'm going to have a little bit of shaykhs here, but I still have no idea what I'm doing. But maybe I have a little
Love as much as you can.
It's about me standing
Love
here
as much as you can, man.
But it's not about me. It's about me giving all my energy for all of them. For everybody. That maybe I have a little touch, I have a little taste. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking to this guy on Shabbos. Al-Kedekava, Achan, right? Who died with Skila. But yet he writes some Skila at the end of David that we say every single day. So he's on my happy to be is that because this guy said a teshuvah and that became timeless. Timeless. You said something in your time frame when you lived, but that feeling became timeless. What does that mean? I was trying to think about that. The guy made a vow. He said something before he died.
Printed papers ain't what it's worth anymore.
Became timeless.
Can't print it.
You say that every day, every person says that. To tap in. Why? Because when you realize that what we do is timeless. You did something right now, you stayed time. But it doesn't mean anything. You have no idea what that. You said you made fun of a guy when you were 10 years old, but that destroyed the kid because now he can't get married, now he can't. So what you said is timeless because you affected the other kid. And we don't chop our power. And that's the end of it. You don't chop our power.
Have a great